friends, I'm Krunal and welcome back to the channel of your own, Constitution for Life. Friends, after a deep and quite interesting discussion about the history of Indian Penal Code in our last videos, from this video and onwards, we are going to discuss the sections of the Indian Penal Code one by one. So, without wasting much time, let's get started. So friends, as we all know, there are totally 26 chapters in the Indian Penal Code. And the name of the first chapter of the Indian Penal Code is the Introduction, which includes the sections from section 1 to section 5. So now let's see what the first section of the Indian Penal Code says. Section 1 of the Indian Penal Code. Title and extent of operation of the code. This act shall be called the Indian Penal Code and shall extend to the whole of India. Now, there are two main points to be highlighted here. The first one is that the name of this draft is the Indian Penal Code. Means wherever this draft will be referred in future, in any government resolution or in any judicial proceedings or in any legislative discussion or in any special or local act or any other law, wherever this act will be referred, it will be referred as the Indian Penal Code. And the second main point is that the extent of this Indian Penal Code is to the whole of the Indian territory. Means this law is applicable to the whole Indian territory. But here is a twist. Before 2019, the territorial extent of the Indian Penal Code was only limited to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. As we all know, before 2019, when the Article 370 of the Indian Constitution was applicable to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, there was a separate penal code for the state of Jammu and Kashmir known as Ranbir Penal Code. But after the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019 and abolition of the Article 370, today the Indian Penal Code is also applicable to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And that's why at present the territorial extent of the Indian Penal Code is to the whole Indian territory. So friends, moving further, let's discuss about what the second section of the Indian Penal Code says. Indian Penal Code Section 2. Punishment of offences committed within India. Every person shall be liable to punishment under this code and not otherwise for every act or omission contrary to the provisions thereof, of which he shall be guilty within India. So, it is very crystal clear that the section 2 of the Indian Penal Code highlights mainly 3 points. What are they? That every person is liable to punishment under this Indian Penal Code. But when he commits any act or omission which is contrary to the provisions of the Indian Penal Code, means any person if commits any act or omission of that act which is contrary to the provisions of this Indian Penal Code, then he is liable to punishment or he is guilty for that offense within India. Means this section 2 clears us that any person if commits any act or omission which is contrary to the provisions of the Indian Penal Code, then he is liable to punishment under this code within India. Means suppose person X is driving by his car on the highway with a loud volume of music, then how will we come to know that is he guilty for any offense or not? Then for that we will check the Indian Penal Code. If any provision of the Indian Penal Code says that driving on the road with a loud volume of music is a crime, then person X is liable for the punishment for that offense or person X is guilty for that offense. But if there are no such provisions mentioned in the Indian Penal Code, then X is not guilty for any offense. So this is all about the section 2. If there are any queries, go to the comment section and don't forget to like, share and comment. So see you in the next video. Till then, Jai Hind.